I'm upside down, everybody. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. That's better. All right. Hi, and welcome to week 14. I wanted to give you a rundown of not only this week, but this is the last week of really core content. After this week, we will have a time period assignment, and then we're going to be getting ready for the end of the semester. So I'm going to be presenting your final gallery project, which is going to act as your final exam. So without further ado, let's get into that. We're going to open up our shell. You will see that there is a week 14 time period announcement section right here. This video will be posted right below here. Let's get into the course content. So you're going to scroll all the way down to time periods, and you're going to jump into this Google slide presentation right here. So this is going to give you a brief overview of all of the major time periods of the Western that covers Western art history. This is not by any means a total comprehensive coverage of all of art history. It's just of what covers the Western cultures, essentially European and some of the Americas, and especially when we get into the more modern art history, definitely a lot within the United States and within our culture and society. I say that because I want you to realize and understand, and if you already realize and understand this, I want to make sure that I note this, that this is not the only art history, but it is the art history that we are going to be covering for the purposes of this class. If you are interested in art history, I definitely encourage and motivate you to take an art history course here at Tunxis, because that will give you a comprehensive look at art history through the years. It will touch upon Western art history, Western cultures, and also cultures all around the world. So I definitely encourage you to take that if you are interested. This first part of the Google slide presentation is giving you some context and some resources, so that as you are working through time periods and dates and artifacts, you can have a little bit of a better understanding of where in time and how we were able to find these things, and that kind of thing. So I give you a rundown of what dates are, how do we use dates, why are dates important, and how dates have changed over time, because they have. Our way of organizing and categorizing events and major events in time and all of that has definitely shifted over time. This is first and foremost an art history class. This is not a theology class or a class where we talk about religion. However, you can't really talk about history without talking about religion, because religion was the formal well, first and foremost, religion in and of itself is an institution that gathers a lot of money, and where you find money is where you find resources. And to be able to categorize dates and times, you need resources. So unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, religion plays a role in how we are able to categorize and organize our time, our calendars, and how we chronologically look back at time and how we go forward. Thankfully, or again, it depends upon your perception, we in modern times, in 2025, 21st century, we are kind of trying to take a step away from the stronghold that religion has on us, specifically Christianity. Excuse me. So you will see that. I provide you with some resources here on slide 3, just again for your context, how the calendar was developed and where it was developed, how clocks are, where they came from, and how we use them. And then again, Western culture and Christ and religion and how that plays a role. Again, this is all context. This is not a way to slip in or persuade you in any way, shape, or form. It's just providing you with the facts as we know it through time. From here, we go into art history. This is a really helpful link. As I said in the beginning of this is, we're looking at the Western culture, but that's not the only culture in the world. So if you are so inclined, this is a really great resource for you to look at and dive into as far as looking at other histories throughout the world. And then you jump into the art history timeline. Again, and I shouldn't say timeline because it's not a chronological timeline. It's just a comprehensive view of a summarized past to present and possibly to the future. All I do is go over the major time periods, their approximate dates, and what was the most indicative characteristics of those time periods. I then provide you with two really great videos. As you will notice throughout art history, there's this capturing or this essence of being able to capture what is beautiful. But what is beautiful to me and what is beautiful to you and what is beautiful to people 1,000 years ago is very, very different. So this is a really good video that kind of brings what is beautiful art and how has that changed, how has that category of art changed over time. This is a really good resource for that. Secondary to that is, up until this point, we really have not seen a whole lot of female artists. There are disparities in all context areas. Again, this is first and foremost an art appreciation class. I wouldn't be doing it justice if I didn't call to some of those disparities. First and foremost, though, and even in today, 21st century, there is a large disparity between gender and gender representation in the art world, and it just again, I'm just doing my part to bring that to light. Again, that's not the only disparity, and I don't want to insult anybody else here, but it is worth noting. Then we go into a couple the rest of the time periods that brings us all the way up to modern day and beyond. And then finally, we end with one last video. Throughout all of art history, you will see and notice that there is this essence and this motivation to capture the essence of realism through the artifacts and through the categorization and documentation of certain events, all the way up to the invention of new materials and tools, through having a sense of self-awareness to start creating work for, first and foremost, for yourselves and for the joy of creating. There is one theme that carries through all of that change, and it is realism. We are constantly, as a society of people, constantly trying to capture and hold on to these fleeting moments of real life. And what does that mean? What does that look like 1,000 years ago? What does that look like 100 years ago? What does that look like today? And why does that matter? So this is a really good resource and video for you that kind of brings it all together. After you go through this Google slide presentation, what you're going to need to do is you will have a journal entry. It'll be art and time. And then you will have a discussion post as well. That will be due. Those are the only two things that are due this, nope, one more. Here it is right here, time periods. These are the only two things that are due this week. They are going to be due on Sunday, May 4th by midnight. So those are the only two things. Next, and then the following week, we will have a time period assignment, and that will conclude all of the assignments for this for the semester. And then at which point I will then release to you what the final project is, and then we'll go from there. So I hope that you all are doing well. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer them for you. And I can't wait to see what all your thoughts and opinions are about time periods.